Hello, welcome back. Tonight I will speak about Galactica and a grimoire that is part of this collection. There are different grimoires, 11 different grimoires that I have written. They are all under the title of Galactica, which is a digital product because all the 11 grimoires together, there are more than 5,000 pages. Galactica is a digital product. It's a book, a manuscript, a collection of grimoires, but that can be bought in digital format only. And tonight's topic will be the Grimoire of Asmodeus. I decided to speak about each grimoire separately, and I will make a few recordings where I speak about the grimoires or the collection of Galactica, all the grimoires together as well. So the Grimoire of Asmodeus, I will speak about how I came to the idea of the book, how I developed the story, and some qualities too about Asmodeus that I would like to share with you as well. The Grimoire of Asmodeus has, I think, around 200 pages, and it is a more small grimoire from the number of pages, because some grimoires, in general, grimoires are bigger type of manuscripts, they are bigger type of books, they are more important books than it is not a normal book. A grimoire is like a genre higher, you know. And in general, the grimoires do have 500, 600, 700 pages, or even more. That's like a serious amount of work. But Asmodeus, as I've said, has 200 pages, but it is a very compact type of grimoire. Like the verses and the words that I chose, and the metaphors and all the lyrical creation that I made in the grimoire was very much to the point, and I used words which represented Asmodeus very much. So it is very intense type of grimoire, like from the story, it's very compact. Which speaks to about Asmodeus, because sure, I could have chosen to make the Grimoire of Asmodeus 400 pages, but that will be too much grandeur for Asmodeus, because his energy is very strong, very compact, very present. So that's why the Grimoire too has this form or this shape or these ideas behind it. When I started to work on the Grimoire of Asmodeus, it was from the beginning a very good feeling, and when I opened to work on a specific grimoire, I said, well, I do have the title and I do know a little bit about the character, but somehow the story is new for me as well, and then I develop it as it comes. No, I start with writing the first verses and then continuing it, and then developing the story further on. It's almost like a window or a specific part of that knowledge, you know. And I think the metaphors that I have used in the Grimoire of Asmodeus are very strong, very beautiful. It represents him very well as well. And the story as well is interesting, of course. Asmodeus is a very interesting character. He's a very potent character, very wise character with a lot of qualities. The two, of course, come out throughout the grimoire. And it is a very direct type of grimoire as well. So it speaks direct to us. There is no wave around it, not really. It's always a little bit of story, but then it comes back to the point, which is, of course, the point is the thematic of Asmodeus, or Asmodeus himself. The cover of Asmodeus I have created, said the way I imagined Asmodeus to look. No, there's this element of the things that he carries that are more with that type of decoration. It's everything very intricate, very beautiful, and I think that's the way the Grimoire of Asmodeus is as well. It's very intricate, very beautiful. And there is a part, of course, that is hidden of Asmodeus, to say there are things that we cannot understand about him as well, that he says too in the Grimoire. to say, well, he does represent himself, but there is always a question in the end, like who Asmodeus truly is, because you see a part, no, and you want to know more, but there are some things that we are not able to know for different reasons about Asmodeus. And the things we know, of course, there is an entire playlist of Asmodeus where I talk about him and I analyze him, or I meditate on his thematic in a more detailed way. If you want to listen to the playlist, there's a link in the description box below, direct to the playlist, and then you have the link to the book of Asmodeus that you can buy as well on Amazon in paper. And if you're interested in the collection of Galactica, you can always contact me, and I can give you more information about it as well. And going back to Asmodeus, there are of course many things that I can speak about, but I will speak about color thematic as well. So the color thematic of Asmodeus is that type of well, the first is the black, of course, but then we have the dark purple, which is almost like a purple that goes towards the black. They say each color that Asmodeus carries that element of the black in that color as well. So there's the element of the blue, of the purple, of the black. These are like the colder tones of colors, no? Black being black. The black of Asmodeus is a specific type of black. It is represented in the grimoire in many very beautiful different ways, very beautiful different metaphors that I have created to bring those aspects to life, to bring that throughout the grimoire, through the verses that I have created. So a lot of work was very much on the text, on which words, which metaphors, and how I arranged the text as well. And the other aspect of Asmodeus is the element of time, or there is the element of the distant, or a certain almost like an endless distance that separates us from Asmodeus. So say Asmodeus is very far away, you know, and there are elements, almost like Asmodeus was here once but not anymore, and it's like are things that we can find or know about him and reminds us about him, but he is far away. That's the feeling, like it's almost like he speaks from memory, he speaks from something from the past in my grimoire. And there's this feeling, you know, like almost like he's in the future, and there are things that he speaks to us from the past. I think it's a very interesting quality of Asmodeus is that he has all these very high qualities, but when he presents them, he has a way to make us understand the truth or the reason behind something, or to understand the aspects too of things that maybe we don't want to acknowledge or we don't know how to analyze. Like, for example, color black. Now many people say, well, if it's black, I stop here, I don't move, I cannot understand what those elements of the black as a color represents as well. So there is a lot of knowledge about the colors as well, you know. So, well, the black is actually all the colors combined. So it's the element, well, the black is color as well. And we have the element of the white as well. So, well, there is this part of the fractals or the fractals. There is this almost like a kaleidoscope, the element of things that are moving. It's always a beautiful pattern. Geometrical figures that move, with the element of the color, of the shape. There is something very remarkable about the Asmodeus correlating to this ability of him, almost to transform or to show or not show himself. There's the aspect too of him showing himself throughout elements or different elements that represent him very well, So, well, the contact to Asmodeus is almost through those elements. It is not necessarily directly to him. So it is a more distant figure. At the same time, when he appears, it is very much present, very much there. It's almost like it does not move. No, there is the element of almost like Asmodeus left things for us from the past for the future. No, this is element that one can, of course, meditate on the thematic of Asmodeus and meditate and discover those elements as well. No. And I think that's why a part of the grimoire too is to correlate to that type of knowledge. To say, well, of course, knowledge is everything, but there is a certain type of knowledge which is very magnetic, very intricate, very beautiful, very interesting. You know, there are more tops on top. No, there is more to the story than what meets the eye. It's very much like that. One can. You know, there's an element of introspection, no? If we see Asmodeus, the way he looks, there is so much detail on his body. Everything is ornamented in such a beautiful and very precise way that one can analyze it for a very long time. So it's the aspect of analyzing, or being able to read the patterns, or read something that seems very intricate and very complex, and being able to see the similar aspects or the synonymic aspects of things, or how things repeat themselves but with a different meaning. You know, there's always element of new, there's always element of different, even in something very simple. So Asmodeus teaches that even simplicity is complexity, you know, and the complexity too has its form and its beauty, no? And there is simplicity in that too as well. And repetition is a big part of that, no? But repetition with a certain form, with a certain plan, with a certain decoration, ornamentation, or something how it's like ornamental, no? There is a specific way it is done. The same when you look at a sculpture or the column, and it has decorated elements of it, no? There's this element of very intricate, very beautiful, very, very much different, very much worked in the detail. And why I think the Grimoire of Asmodeus is special or unique, or if it's a good grimoire, I think it is because of the thematic of Asmodeus first, and then the elements that he represents, which I find very interesting as well. The way that he represents them in this very beautiful pattern, in this very beautiful, colorful, intense type of feeling. At the same time, there is a softness of that, something light or something like an air that carries this element, you know. To say, well, the air is empty, but the air carries the element, the particles in the air that floats in the air, which can have a message. It is a little higher, even if it's very little bit, then the air and still floats, no? And so there is the element too of the bird, which very much connected to Asmodeus, the way he represents himself, full with the element of the feathers or color feathers, so it specifies different type of birds. And it speaks to the element of the air, the element of that fast movement, or the element of being able to fly, or being able, no, to have the qualities of a bird. Another thing is that the way he dressed, it is a armor. It represents too the element of a fighter, or him being very strong, very resilient, very powerful, no? And there is a certain of strong calmness that he carries. It's very potent, calm but ready to act type of, you know, there's very much element of the mind, element of the air, the way he communicates. It is not made through showing through the body. It's just the presence of Asmodeus, and then the lessons or the things that he says, no? So it's very much communicated through the words, through sentences, through ideas, because it does represent an element of the bird, which is an element of the air. the air represents the words, the communication, or can have other meanings as well, not only this. So it's almost to say, well, from one element one creates more, you know, they're all part of that element, but they all carry a little bit of difference. That's very much to how I can describe those images that I have seen correlated to Asmodeus very much. And sometimes they move from simplicity to complexity, from complexity to simplicity. There's always a little change. To say, well, each door has a different key, no? There's the element, well, it is a key, but it's a different key. It's always an element of something different or something new. At the same time, I think Asmodeus likes longevity, so the things that live long, or the elements that he carries that are very powerful and strong, and somehow they survive forever. No, there's the element of the mountains, or the element of the air, no, the skies, things like that represent him very much as well. The element of stone, no, which somehow keep its shape very long, or there are, you know, different aspects too that speaks about element of longevity or accumulation or something of longer time or more time. And the color that represents him the most is the color purple. It's a very bright type of purple that has the color white inside as well, and a little blue, a little black. It's a very potent, beautiful violet that goes more to the blue and to the black than to the pink. And that's very much the color represents him. And then we have, of course, the color black. In the Grimoire, it comes very much in different beautiful metaphors, that this black is represented by Asmodeus in different ways. And for Galactica, I think Asmodeus is one of the important grimoires that is part of this beautiful collection, and I think it's one of the best. And if I was to put Asmodeus at the top from 1 to 11, I will probably put it at number 6. And if anyone is interested in the thematic of Asmodeus or wants to learn about Asmodeus in general, can of course read my Grimoire of Asmodeus. It does offer some insights as well as a story about him, and it is a beautiful grimoire. It's written in hymn verse like all the other grimoires. It is a form of hymn form, like a poetic form, with certain type of verses that move in tandem with the story of Asmodeus as well. There's a certain type of rhythm that I create. That story is comfortable, that the story moves, that there is not the element of something stagnant, no? The element of the repetition with some new elements, it's very much how I include it in the grimoire, because it represents Asmodeus too very well. And so I think it's great absolutely to have Asmodeus in the collection of Galactica, and it's definitely one of my best grimoires that I have written so far, and I do recommend everyone to read from my grimoires or from the Grimoire of Asmodeus. I think they're all great books, and one can truly enjoy, and one can really learn something new as well. And it is not only, or at least for me, it's not only one simple read and then I forget about it. Sometimes I feel the urge to read again, or there's other ways that one can connect to the book. And the Grimoire of King Asmodeus as well. Asmodeus is king, we know that about him as well. I find his name very beautiful, Asmodeus, and he is a very special king. Asmodeus is a very special character. I cannot express in words how special he is, and all the different things that I have learned about him through writing the grimoire of him. And it is definitely one of my favorite grimoires that I have written, and I do invite you to buy, you know, the book if you want to have it in paper. I think it's a great product, the Grimoire of Asmodeus. There's the link in the description box that brings you directly to the book. And then, of course, if you want all the collection of Galactica, as well as possible to buy as a digital product. Thank you so much for listening. I will continue another time. Until then, all the best to you. Bye.